So welcome to this episode of Real People, and today we're going to be talking to Donna Hicks from the Tower Cinema in Helensburgh.
That's right.
Welcome, Donna.
Thank you.
So tell us a bit about the history of the Tower. It wasn't always a cinema, eh?
No, that's true. Well, firstly, thanks very much for inviting us over. Absolutely delighted to be given the opportunity. So the Tower Cinema is based in the old St Columba Church in Helensburgh, which is in a really prominent position on the corner of Sinclair Street and West King Street. I think it was built in 1841, so it's an old...
One of the earliest churches there.
Absolutely, very old church building, and the Church of Scotland unfortunately closed it many years back. There was a number of churches in Helensburgh closed around the same time, and the building lay empty for a while. And then the current owner bought it because he was looking for somewhere for the submarine centre to be developed. So he had purchased it, or he had acquired the submarine that he needed to house, and he bought the tower because the tower main building is obviously the main old part of the church, but there's also a couple of church halls added on that.
So it's
that
a bit
kind
like
of
a complex.
Yes. So there's various kind of locations within the tower, but the submarine centre occupies part of the building, and he decided to open a cinema in the main part of the building.
Okay.
And I think from what I know, the cinema probably struggled to kind of make ends meet. Was beginning to break even just before COVID, and then. Like most independent cinemas, really struggled thereafter to recover. Independent cinema is really, really difficult to make financially viable.
I used to go to cinema a lot,
Yep.
and I don't go as much as I used to.
Yeah.
I have been to Tower, and it's great because you can sit on a nice comfy couch and watch a
Absolutely.
film and even have a wee glass of Prosecco or something like that.
Absolutely, yep.
So it's a wee bit different from your normal cinemas you get, the chain cinemas, I guess.
That's it. We're kind of selling an experience, rather than just saying it's we're putting films on, if you know what I mean.
Aye.
There's certain things that we do and the kind of feeling people get when they walk through the door that you wouldn't get in one of the big chain cinemas.
That's good.
You know.
So what's the situation with the cinema now? Obviously,
Yeah.
you've got Save the Tower on.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
the sweatshirt.
As I said, following COVID, the tower struggled to recover, and at one point the current owner decided that he was going to retire. He'd had a number of health issues and decided enough was enough. So at that point, I was actually a part-time member of staff. My own background is that I worked in social work for many
Right,
years.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, it was something completely different.
Yeah.
I retired through ill health following a cancer diagnosis in 2014. So my life completely turned upside down, and I started volunteering at the Tower. I'd always gone as a customer. Absolutely loved the place. There's such a unique vibe about the Tower, and I think because I've always loved musical theatre and been involved in many Amdram productions, and always saw the potential of it being so much more than what it was at the time.
Was it primarily just used as a cinema only before?
And occasional concerts,
Right.
but could have been used much more, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and the concerts that have been on in the past have been amazing. Jarvis Cocker's played at the Tower.
All right.
Yep, so there's been some fantastic gigs at the Tower.
Okay.
And anybody that's been to a gig there just knows how
What
amazing
kind of
it is.
capacity is it for that concert, for example?
What kind of...
Capacity, what's that?
So, as it stands at the moment, due to sort of fire regulations, about 250 we can get in for a
So it's a decent
concert.
size.
Yeah, it's a great size. There is potential to develop in the future the upstairs balcony area and such like, but that's going to require some work.
So getting back to Save the Tower,
Yeah.
so it's went like that, and then COVID came.
That's
Obviously
right.
That
So
destroyed a lot of things.
Yeah, so the owner decided to close the building. Myself and two other colleagues, Helen and Dave, who were also working there at the time, asked them to give us an opportunity to try and run it, to make it profitable. And we did. We made a good job, but despite that, it just wasn't enough. So he decided he was closing the doors. So the three of us just could not think about the Tower not being a thing.
Right.
And we didn't even know what a community buyout was, but we'd heard about it. So we decided to do a bit of digging, and we formed we invited people that we knew that would be a good help, people with business backgrounds. We had somebody that already had experience of being involved in a community buyout locally, and we formed a steering group. So there's 10 of us in the steering group, and our mission is to save the Tower.
Okay. So a community buy is where obviously a group of people get together to buy an island or a business or something.
A pub, yeah.
So they kind of save it, I guess, and it's got to be viable, obviously.
That's right, exactly. So we've had various inputs from different experts, from Highlands and Islands Enterprise, COS, and more recently Community Enterprise, who have been our consultants that we've been dealing with. So we had to put in a phase 1 application. So that was last year. That application was in and approved, and that's when you're asking for the money to do all the due diligence around what would be involved in what you'd be looking for, and is your proposal viable? Yep. So that was the money to pay for the feasibility study, the business plan, the full structural survey, the valuation, those types of things.
So the building's obviously an old building, but it's okay.
Yep. Well, surprisingly, yes. You know, we were waiting with bated breath
for the good then, you know.
Yeah, we were waiting for the condition survey to come back. Really quite worried about what it was going to tell us, but the building's pretty sound. You know, it does need work. There are some repairs that need done, but not to the extent we expected. No. Nothing that's not achievable. I think it was about £40,000 worth of repairs, and nothing that needed to be done on day one. You know, so we would be building that into a maintenance plan.
So where is the tower just now? Is it still open for business? Are you still showing things
No,
there?
no, it's not.
Right.
So it's closed,
right.
But the owner has been allowing us to use it for fundraising, which has been amazing. So we've had some fantastic fundraising events over the last few months.
What have we done?
We have we've had a couple of bands play. We've had the Mick Commitments, which was a tribute band, tribute to the Commitments. That was an amazing night. We also had a night called Bandwidth, which was for young up-and-coming bands and musicians to get an opportunity to play, because it is such an amazing place to play in. This is just a bit of a boring side fact.
I think I've actually seen some YouTube video of the Bandwidth thing.
Yes, it was really good, and you know, these were young people that wouldn't be able to go in and play in a pub, because a lot of them weren't 18, you know, so it was giving them an opportunity, and the acoustics in the tower are phenomenal. This is just a boring fact for the day, but the architect who designed that church previously had only ever designed theatres, including the Theatre Royal in Glasgow. Therefore, the acoustics are phenomenal, because that was obviously his.
So it could become a major venues for
that's
bands
that's
and
what we
for
want.
comedians and.
Absolutely, it could be for anything. You know, you could have. We've had ballet on in the past. Yeah, we've had opera. We've had. You know, bands, as we said. We've had choirs. We've had. I've done fundraising concerts called Matinee at the Musicals, and that was bringing a load of different people together to perform songs from musicals.
Well,
absolutely. What we do know is that cinema doesn't really make money. You know, when you can pretty much get any film you want on a streaming channel,
on the telly,
you know, it's very difficult.
So there's still something special.
There is, particularly
going and sitting there on the big screen, and you're like,
particularly
wow.
the tower. You know, it does have a very European. You know, it's got quite a special quality when you walk through the door. It's not what you would get going into a chain cinema.
It's you tell me up the town as well. You can just
exactly. You know, and we have a lot of people in Helensburgh that just simply wouldn't travel for cinema, particularly older people. You know, and I mean, one of the things we ran every week, twice a week, was Silver Screen, which were dedicated screenings for over 60s. It'd be a new release film, but included in the ticket price that was £7 was a filled roll, tea, coffee. 60, so well, you can come, we'll give you your lunch. You'll get cake and everything.
Okay.
But that for some people was a bit of a lifeline, because a lot of these folk came in their own, and they might not necessarily have come out to the cinema otherwise.
And I love going to see people in Glasgow, don't get me wrong, but you've got the whole train issue, and then
exactly.
You know, do you have a wee drink, take the car? You can't do that, obviously, because you have to get a train or you stay over. But if it's in Helensburgh and everything, you can just basically, you know, get there.
On your doorstep.
On your doorstep.
So the big message, I suppose, to the community is that, you know, once we, and I suppose I can't even think about us not being successful to get to, I suppose, the point what you're asking, where we're at this precise moment in time. I could talk about this all day, as you can probably tell.
Okay.
We are waiting the final decision from the Scottish Land Fund, and we should hear early March, and they can provide up to 80% of the valuation of the building.
Okay.
So that would be hugely significant. It leaves us with a shortfall of about £60,000. We've raised nearly 30 from our fundraising efforts and our GoFundMe. We have just launched this week a pledging programme, and what we're asking individuals or businesses is that if we successfully get the money from the Scottish Land Fund, would you donate? Would you give us some money towards that? So we're not asking for people to give us money right now, but if we're able to get to the point where we can open, we would then be asking if you would give us your money. So I suppose just to take the opportunity as a wee plea that if there's anybody out there that might be interested, you'd find the details on our Facebook page or on our website, and we would absolutely love to hear from you.
And is the crowdfunding thing still open as well?
It is, yeah, the GoFundMe's still open as well.
Is that on your website as well?
Yes, and it's on our Facebook page.
So Donna, just remind me of the name of your website.
Sure, it's savethetower.co.uk.
Okay,
and
people can go there?
Absolutely, there's all the information about who we are, who the steering group are, and how to donate, how to pledge. So that'd be amazing if people would have a wee look and maybe part with some of their pennies.
Hopefully,
Thank you.
yeah. So I just want to say, Donna, I wish you every success.
Thank you.
And I hope it goes
Thank
well.
you.
And it sounds to me as if it's an exciting project going forward.
It really is, and I'd just like to thank all our supporters and everybody who's helped us along the way, because it's not just the 10 of us, there's a wider network of people that without them we wouldn't be able to be where we are, and our local links with the community council and such like.
Well, listen, thanks Donna for being on this episode of Real People.
Thanks for having me.
I just want to say thanks so much and bye for now.